Parents are entitled under the IDEA to be represented by counsel and advised by other individuals such as advocates. And I've found that it's a very difficult thing to address because nobody likes the idea of having lawyers or advocates at IEP meetings. It makes everyone a little bit defensive. We understand that. I take great care when I can to diffuse the situation when I get into a meeting and try to not have it contentious, certainly at the IEP level. Unfortunately, in my experience, a lot of school districts bristle at the idea of the parent having hired someone to advocate on their behalf. And it's unfortunate because sometimes it's taking a situation that could be rectified by the assistance of an outside professional who understands the process. And by getting defensive, it makes everything worse.
As a matter of fact, I go out of my way with the parents with whom I work to say to them, let's take the sting out of me coming even before I get there. And so they'll let them know that I'm coming. They may make a statement about, this is a very overwhelming process for me, so I need some help. I don't want to be the person who's coming in like a bull in a china shop. And even when I go out of my way to not be perceived that way, and I think I'm a kind of nice lady, at least I try to be, sometimes before I've even opened my mouth, I feel like I'm perceived to be the enemy. I don't want to be the enemy. I don't want to be treated like I'm the person in the room who's going to sort of ruin everything because it's now on another level. And so my point to you is that when an advocate or an attorney comes in, try to understand that this is really someone who is trying to help the parents. They don't always have to be perceived as the threatening party in the room.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, as I said, sometimes those kinds of outside professionals can really assist the team because, in fact, there may be a basic misunderstanding on the parents' part about what they're entitled to, about what something means. They actually can often assist the process dramatically if they're good at what they do and if the situation can be rectified at that level. But it's also just so essential to remember, I assure you, that parent did not want to make the phone call to the lawyer or the advocate. They didn't want to do it. And before you get all defensive about it, give it 2 more thoughts about how difficult this call must have been for the parent to make that next step of making the situation a little adversarial. Take a deep breath and move on from there.
And I'd rather be won over by the crowd than be perceived as the person who's going to come in like the bull in the china shop. And you'd be surprised a little kindness goes a long way to the advocate and or the attorney.